What's up guys, Adam Ronin here. Today we're going to dig into Super Mario Odyssey. Now, the game's been out for about a week, and you can see Super Mario Odyssey reviews all over the place, and unanimously, the game is getting 10 out of 10s and perfect scores, 9.8, 9.9s, all over the place from different reviewers. But we wanted to take our time and really dig into the game because we don't get early review copies, so they gotta come out a little bit later. But do we think this is a perfect game? Now, we didn't officially review Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but if we were to top-notch games of the year so far, to me, Breath of the Wild is a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect score to me, and it's just a hallmark of an experience. And I do think that Mario Odyssey lives up to that experience, making the Switch almost a must-have console for gaming now. But we want to really dig into the why. Does this live up to the perfect scores that it's getting? Does it receive a perfect score from us? Well, let's dig into this mother and take a look.
There isn't much I can say about this game without absolutely gushing my heart out. See, everything in my life, Legend of Zelda, Mortal Kombat, and other titles that have shaped me, Super Mario Bros. Was forefront and center in that accomplishment. Super Mario Bros. Was the first game I ever played on the NES when we finally got ours in about 1987 or so. From the first game on through Super Mario World, my life revolved around that fat little Italian plumber trying to rescue Princess Peach from the clutches of Bowser and his minions. Then, in 1996, my world was toppled on its head again with the release of Super Mario 64, which is arguably one of the greatest games of all time. A literal perfect 10 masterpiece of an experience that stands the test of time and has become the basis for what a lot of games should be today. Mario has never, in my opinion, lived up to what he was in Mario 64. Sunshine, while great, was a letdown to me, and I never really got on the Galaxy train, though I do, however, appreciate them and know they were great experiences. To be fair, there has never been a bad Mario game. Even Super Mario 3D World was great in its own right, but all these games were dwarfed in Mario 64's shadow. Until now. Super Mario Odyssey captures the essence of exploration, magic, and heart that Mario 64 gave us 21 years ago. A perfect mix of old and new, a fantastic voyage into buttery smooth controls and gameplay with a heaping chunk of nostalgia to tug on our heartstrings immensely. Visually, Odyssey looks as good as you would want a Mario game to look. Textures are well rendered, animations are fluid and beautiful, environments and kingdoms all stand out from one another and provide so much unique and exciting art styles, from classic mushroom kingdoms to dark fantasy ruins all the way through low poly places, and my favorite of all, a feudal Japan inspired kingdom that, simply put, blew me away completely. My only qualm with everything, if you could even call it that, was a lack of familiar enemy types. I would have loved to trade out a couple of newer enemy types for a Shy Guy or a standard Koopa Troopa, but that's really nothing. To couple with those visuals, we have a fantastic musical score that resonates throughout each kingdom. Fantastic works that transition in and out of 8-bit to full orchestral, all the way to updated renditions of classic Mario songs that run rampant throughout the game. It's just simply amazing. There are even a couple little catchy numbers in a couple of spots in the game along the way that I won't deny that I really enjoy. Sure, okay, but what's a game without gameplay? How does this play? Well, if you've ever played any Mario game in the past, you would know that this game is no different from those. Controls are flawless, accessible and simplistic with enough depth and complexity in the vast amount of moves in his tiny little Italian repertoire that there is something for basic younger players and always just a little something more for the higher skilled players. I found some of the jumping hat tricks to be extremely challenging and rewarding all in one. Also, there's just enough emphasis on motion controls to be a fun addition while not intruding on the traditional control schemes. The game has puzzles galore, which is really all in its essence the heart and soul of a Mario game. With over 800 power moons to discover, many of which can't even be found until after you've completed the main story quest, and you'll find an endless wealth of replay value here, as the game just simply does not get boring, even after 40 hours in for me. The brilliant simplicity and addiction of finding these moons, coupled with the unique and excellent dynamic gameplay brought forward with the addition of Cappy, Odyssey will stand the test of time for another 20 plus years for being one of the greatest Mario games of all time. Maybe even one of the greatest games, period. I sit back and I look back on all of my history with the Mario franchise with the full heart and happy memories. The greatest thing about Mario Odyssey is that it respects all of those feelings. The homages to the first game with the 8-bit sections is astounding, but the absolute greatest thing about it is when you finally unlock the actual Mushroom Kingdom and all the throwbacks to Mario 64 that come with it. When I finally put on the 64-bit polygon costume for the first time and found other heartwarming nods to 64, I'm not ashamed to admit that it made me well up a bit. To me, there's nothing more powerful than nostalgia, and a true test to a perfect game is respecting where it came from while simultaneously growing into something new, which is exactly what this masterpiece does.
So that is our in-depth look at why Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch absolutely lives up to its brethren with Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and most importantly, because it's the closest to it, Super Mario 64. This game blends a perfect mix of nostalgia with all the 8-bit sections, with the cool stuff from the Mushroom Kingdom, with brand new mechanics and new things to do, and new enemies and new worlds and kingdoms to find, into a perfect game. And there's of course a couple qualms that we mentioned before, where I wish there was a little bit more familiarity with enemies and just a couple other things, but overall we give this officially, from Ronin 24's perspective, a 10 out of 10. And you guys, it just absolutely makes Nintendo Switch a must-have console. Now, before I said that with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because I thought that was a system seller, and I still think that it is. But now with Mario Odyssey, plus the breadth of other titles that they have to offer on that, with the JRPGs and a couple of fighters that are coming out for it and are out for it, I think the Nintendo Switch is now an absolute must-have console, and I think that Mario Odyssey absolutely cements that into stone. And you know what? I dig fat plumbers. Gordy loves fat plumbers. Yeah, fat plumbers! So, guys, that's what it is. Get me on Twitter. Let's talk about it. If you haven't played it yet, get off your ass and go buy a Switch and get Mario. It is worth every single penny, because this is where gaming started. This is the father of platformers, and it is the future of platformers. All in one. You know what I'm saying, baby? Oh, yeah! I never felt so much electricity! Oh, yeah!
Yahoo! Hello, I'm Madam Ronin, and this is Punky Brewster's Day Off.